Well, man, I don't want to pour water on it. I don't want to be the buzzkill, although nothing has happened just yet. I certainly, in the talk show business, do not want to ruin nor influence in any way Bill Belichick in Dallas arm in arm with Jerry Jones. But I see a problem. I see a problem stopping it from happening, unfortunately. I don't want to see it. I want it to happen because the circus is always good, but there might be some issues. Do you agree with this headline? I believe this is Yahoo News. Yeah, this is Dan Wetzel who writes for Yahoo News. Do you agree with this? Okay. Jerry Jones should bring in Bill Belichick or forever wonder what he missed by not. Agree or disagree? I'm going to say I don't disagree at all. If Jerry Jones can hire Bill, I've said if Jerry Jones can hire Bill Belichick right now, it's worth a try. It is. I don't really see any harm in doing it. To be honest, I don't think there's a downside. I'm not even sure there's that much of an upside, but there's not that much of a downside. So it's worth a try, and it does make some sense. Here's why it makes sense, but I think there might be a problem. But it makes sense because two old guys, time is short. They both need to win big right now. They both, when you think about the two of them, and, look, Belichick will go down as the greatest coach of all time, blah, blah, blah. But I think that's only part of his story. They both, and I'll lump them in together, they both need to win big right now for their legacies. Because if not, think about where they are. And I know it's going to be crazy for me to put Bill Belichick and Jerry Jones in the same place, but their legacies are tainted in a little bit of a similar way. Okay? And they're tainted by what everyone else accomplished. For Jerry Jones, 29 years removed, it's always about what that other guy did. It was somebody else won that championship. Somebody else did that. Now, you can say, I was owner of that team. I hired Jimmy Johnson, all that stuff. But the legacy is, man, you couldn't win without that guy. And then don't tell me the same thing doesn't apply to a certain extent to Bill Belichick, maybe to a great extent. And that is, both guys are chasing the ability to say, I won that one. That one's on me. That's why they need a championship. Both of them. As great as Belichick has been, and look, I'm not confusing the fact that Jerry Jones doesn't have a Super Bowl in 29 years. I'm not. But because Tom Brady turned around, went to Tampa Bay, won a championship, and then the last several years of Bill Belichick, including only 4 wins this year, it makes it look like that legacy is a little bit different without Tom Brady. So they're both chasing. On short time, they're both chasing the same thing. And I get that Belichick wants the 14 wins to be the all-time winningest coach, blah, blah, blah. But I say do it. Sure. If you can, sure. Go ahead and do it. Jerry Jones, go ahead and don't interview Bill Belichick. You hire Bill Belichick if you can. I think that's a problem. I do. I think it's a problem. And I think it's going to be if it doesn't happen, it's an embarrassing problem for Dallas and Jerry Jones. The problem is that Jerry's show isn't the best stop for Bill Belichick. It's good. It makes sense. It's short term. It's two guys desperate for the same things. It's two guys desperate for the same legacy-saving championship on their own terms. All that stuff does make sense. The problem is, I think for Dallas, is the meltdown by the Philadelphia Eagles. Dallas is a good gig that makes sense for Bill Belichick. It checks off all the boxes. He's got a good quarterback. He's got, all he has to do is just sort of steer that group in the right way, and he's fine. He doesn't have to do a heck of a lot. But Philadelphia makes even more sense. It's a really good roster, Philadelphia. Excellent quarterback. Here's the problem in Dallas, who has won playoff games, who is an eyelash away from winning a Super Bowl. So he gets that guy. Okay? He's got a defense that's good but needs a lot of help. He's got a directionless team that sort of lost its way. It's, I don't know what, who knows psychologically what happened to them, but he just needs to fix that. It's got a very, very good general manager in Philadelphia. And then, in the end, Philadelphia has a hands-off, non-meddling owner. Uh-oh. Yeah, there's that. Eagles ownership is the anti-Jerry Jones in every single way. The Eagles model is the anti-Dallas model in every single way. They're just as good in terms of what they could do going forward. They both have really good quarterbacks. One's got more wins, but the operation itself in Philadelphia might make more sense for Bill Belichick. That's too bad for the talk show business, if I'm right. I'm not wondering if it's the right call to hire Bill Belichick the way the setup is now. I think it is. I'm wondering how you do it. That's the weird part of this. Now, then you got this other element, right? I mean, so can you fire Mike McCarthy with the idea that you're going to hire Bill Belichick only for the Eagles to do the exact same thing, and he picks another team over yours, and now what does Jerry Jones do? I mean, my question is, if he can't pull off the Belichick thing, I mean, he didn't even have to sell Bill Belichick on the idea, right? Here's a place where you can win right away, and if you pull it off, man, it's gonna help your legacy. And all you got to do is give me 2 years. That all makes perfect sense. But what if the Philadelphia job is better for him? What if the Atlanta job is better for him? What if he picks somebody else? Have you already fired Mike McCarthy, or are you trying to hire Bill Belichick while Mike McCarthy still works for you? It gets weird. So Mumbling Mike is still your coach. You leave him your coach in case Bill Belichick turns you down? Do you do this silently? Is that what you're trying to do? I don't think you can. Jerry Jones and Bill Belichick can't try to pull something off quietly without everyone else finding out. So it's a weird setup. I'm not sure he can pull it off. And I'm not sure if you fire Mike McCarthy now with the idea, the complete and total commitment to hiring Bill Belichick for 2 years, 3 years max. What happens if it doesn't work? Jim Harbaugh is not going to, he doesn't need Dallas. Jim Harbaugh doesn't need the short term like Bill Belichick does. Jerry Jones is living in the short term. Bill Belichick is living in the short term. I can't imagine Jim Harbaugh would be. And Jim Harbaugh and Jerry Jones would last about 12 minutes. So you fire Mumbling Mike because you want Bill Belichick. You don't get Bill Belichick, then what? You're not going to get Jim Harbaugh. Mike Vrabel doesn't need a short-term plan. He doesn't need that. I'm not even sure he needs Jerry Jones. So what do? Do you tell Mumbling Mike, hey, Mike, I don't want you to be offended. Just so you know, I'm going to go try to hire Bill Belichick. But if he turns me down, you can still keep your job. Here it is, Yahoo News. The Dallas Cowboys like to call the Cowboys America's team, but the more accurate description is America's favorite reality show. And that was before team owner Jerry Jones agreed to a 10-part docuseries about a franchise that hasn't won a Super Bowl in nearly 3 decades. Is that true? Wait, there's a docuseries on the Cowboys? Probably. There's no questioning Jones' desire to win another one, but content has always been king with the Cowboys as well. So what better than bringing in a new star character for a late series reboot, especially when he might be the best solution to that playoff futility? Bill Belichick, come on down. Dallas really can't wait, and I agree with this. If you're going to make this happen, you got to make it happen pretty quickly. It says the Dallas roster is not lacking in talent. It may be facing a salary cap crunch, but there are Pro Bowlers all over the place. Dak Prescott offers Belichick the quarterback he couldn't find post-Brady in New England. I agree with that, too. More than ever, it is win now time in Dallas. Agree. The Jerry and Bill show or Bill and Jerry show would be must-watch television. That's always part of the goal for the Cowboys. Could they coexist? Would they thrive? What happens when more media are at Jones's post-game news conference than Belichick's? The Cowboys team needs a proven winner. The Cowboys soap opera needs a new plot line to shift from the depressing wheel spinning of the past few years/decades. Yeah. Yep, 2-year window for both old guys. Yep, a short-term plan. Yep, a good team that could probably just get some direction. What happens if it can't happen? I mean, what happens if Bill Belichick, and I don't know why he would do it unless he were able to bring in a veteran quarterback to Atlanta, but what happens if Bill Belichick just decides to take the Atlanta job? Because he likes the roster or whatever. Then what? What's Jerry Jones going to do? What exactly is he going to do? And if you say Jim Harbaugh, you're crazy. Or what if he whacks Mumbling Mike, and next thing you know, Bill Belichick decides Atlanta or Philadelphia? I mean, can he really? I mean, think about this. Can he really work this angle, try to hire him without firing Mumbling Mike? I mean, that would be pretty unethical. It'd be a pretty slimy thing to do. Be even unfair to Mumbling Mike. But that's what he's faced with. I think it stacks up perfectly. It does. It makes perfect sense for Dallas. It makes perfect sense for Jerry Jones. It mostly makes really good sense for Bill Belichick. The problem is, for Dallas, I think Philadelphia makes slightly more sense.